I live in Plymouth, New Hampshire.
Where do you slide?
I slide in NEDCO, New Hampshire International Speedway.
What was it?
New Hampshire International Speedway. Yeah, it's golf carts. How you doing, guys?
You had any moments that you kind of considered like, maybe this isn't the thing I want to do with my spare time?
No, never. I mean, I have had moments where there are moments where I thought I'm gonna have to sell this drift car. You know, everybody hits financial spots, and I just went, you know, and that was actually all of my thoughts of selling my drift car and not actually drifting were before I drove it. When I drove it, I decided that day, I pulled it off Craigslist because it was for sale when I went and drove it for the first time. I pulled it off Craigslist and said it's not going anywhere. That was too much fun. I'm gonna just keep doing it. I'm just gonna keep going back. So I drive a Lexus SE 400. It's a 97. It's manual swapped with a W58, and it's the first car I've ever drifted, and it's my current drift car right now, and I probably will keep this chassis for a long time. Basically, the engine is stock. I've got a full dual exhaust in this thing. It's Wisefab, sitting on ISC coilovers. I recently made the switch from VC stuff to ISC. It's a lot more adjustable, and also, you know, they sponsor our club and they're sponsoring me, and I like working with the factory guys, and certainly is a big help whenever we need to get parts and keep it rolling. When I first started building my drift car, I really wanted to get to the point where, you know, I was terrible. My first day I spun out all over the place, and I went, Jesus Christ, but I had so much fun. I just went, I want to get good, and I want to be the guys, you know, the A group guys that are going around and they're doing tandems, and I wanted to be at that point. I think everybody that drives their car, especially drifting a car, you're beating the absolute bag out of these things, so they're not gonna hold up to that for very long. So you're always gonna break things. It just happens. To know that you have that support, you know, if I need parts, like, you know, when we were doing an install on this, I originally had not told Andrew that I had Wisefab in this car, and he didn't know that. So when I had ordered the suspension and it came in and we did the original install, we set this on the ground, and it was basically tire on fender, and I couldn't drive it anywhere. But, you know, on a holiday weekend, I was able to message Andrew, and first thing Tuesday after the holiday, he had a longer shock body, and we put this thing back together and put it on the ground, and it was perfect. It's a thrill, you know, and it's a good time to go down there. You know, I've made a lot of friends at this place, you know, lifelong friends, people like, you know, and I actually, you know, I linked up with people like Rob, who I actually knew years prior to drifting from being in the car world. So, you know, making relationships with people that all have, you know, they're like-minded, they want to drift, they want to have fun, and, you know, so it keeps me into it. I think everybody, when they first go drifting, they're like, oh yeah, I've done donuts in cars, I know what I'm doing. So I kind of showed up with that, I'm going to be okay at this, because I've done burnouts before, and I was total shit. You know, some of that's my chassis, some of that's just, you know, being overconfident, and then I learned real fast, you know, I wasn't gonna be the best right off the bat, and I'm okay with that. A lot of support for the grassroots drivers, you know, especially that's where everybody starts out. Even if you get to a pro level, you know, you're starting out in the grassroots, and I think that ISC does a good job at supporting those guys, me being one of them. I guess that's my advice, is, you know, grow your car with your skill at the same time. You know, that's probably the best thing you can do, just so you build a car that does crazy horsepower and throws lots of angle, and then you don't know how to drive it because you never drove it without it. You know, I think once I put an angle kit in my car and I started driving, I was like, man, this thing is ridiculous. How much more you could really throw it sideways and pull it back out of it. I tried not to drive it like that all the time, but, you know, situations happen.